Buongiorno, good morning. This morning we will do our English service with a small little sermon, okay, in English. So I shall begin. Namu Honmon no Honzon Namu Nyo Renge Namu Honmon no Kaidan Namu Myoho Renge Namu Honmon no Daimoku Namu Myoho Renge Gashi dojo Nyota ishu Juho Sambo Yogenchu Gashi Nyogen Sambo Zen Zume Sesoku Kimyorai Ishin Kyorai Juho Isai Jo I take refuge and offer my sincere devotion to all the venerable ones within the perfect circle of the great mandala Gohonzon, to the Lotus Sūtra, to the eternal Buddha Shakyamuni, to Taho Buddha, to all the Buddhas of the past, present and future throughout the 10 directions, to the 4 great Bodhisattvas of the earth, to all other Bodhisattvas, to the great disciples of Shakyamuni Buddha, and to the Shoten Zenji, the protectors of the Dharma. I take refuge and offer my sincere devotion to our founder, the great Bodhisattva Nichiren Daishonin, sent by the original Buddha to guide all beings throughout the age of Mappo. I also offer my sincere devotion to the 6 disciples of the founder, and all the subsequent excellent Dharma masters of our school. I take refuge and offer my sincerest devotion to all of you. May you come to this consecrated place out of your compassion towards us. Look upon us in the light of your wisdom and accept our offering of the recitation of the Lotus Sūtra and Nyo Renge Zai Sui. 常人人未明のは約千万号にも間で祀ることがたし、我今検問し受理することを得たり、願わくは如来の第一義を下船、至極の大乗思議すべからず、検問即地皆菩提に近づく。能戦は本心、所詮は本心。色相の文字は、すなわちこれ王人なり、無料の功徳、皆この経に集まれり。このゆえに自在に妙に訓じ、密に訳す。ちむち罪を滅し、善を生ず、もしは真、もしは法、共に仏道を上善、三での諸仏人人の妙伝なり、少女せせちぐし、頂戴せん。妙法蓮華経、欧弁本大に、
理事世尊十三枚安常に記号シャリホト勝負知恵人事無料ご知恵も難儀難有意最小も略し物勝負の知小医者が仏道信号略戦万毒無臭勝仏人業勝仏無料道法有妙正人妙正不門成就人人未曾有法随義小説一種難儀シャリホト五十条部地来主十年主十比喩公園五行無主法名人道主上老理小弱小医者が如来法弁知見腹水海へ具足シャリホト如来知見五大寺の無量無下力無所意禅上下打三昧人有無際上十一切未曾有法シャリホト如来の主従分別行聖書法言人十七回出身シャリホト主要ご意志無量無辺未曾有法物質上十四シャリホト不主部聖書医者が仏所成就第一経由難儀司法唯物用物内の苦人小法自相小医小法尿税総尿税小尿税大尿税力尿税差尿税陰尿税塩尿税下尿税法尿税本末空教と小医小法尿税総尿税小尿税大尿税力尿税差尿税陰尿税塩尿税尿税本末空教と小医小法尿税総尿税小尿税大尿税力尿税差尿税陰尿税塩尿税下尿税法尿税本末空教と小医小法尿税相尿税小尿税大尿税力尿税差尿税陰尿税塩尿税下尿税法尿税本末空教と両方蓮華経如来十両本大十六自我特仏来小教小公衆無料約千万おぐさいや葬儀女性法教家無臭奥臭上領入を仏道二来無料庫移動修上広報弁言涅槃に実不滅道成就死世法が成就をし異生人図力量天道修上水言に不見主権が滅度国用者に 限界へ連邦に小活合新修上寄進仏式時期異入難に心欲見物不自釈神明寺が牛種祖空出領受戦が自合衆上常在死不滅違法弁力公言滅不滅予告衆上苦行信行者が部を非中意説無情法尿と不問し単にが滅度が現象衆上持つ在欲界幸福意見心領合唱活合因合信念簿内出一説法人図力量性王は葬儀庫常在領受選牛用小住小衆上健康人大化小生寺が指導安穏天人上十万本人衝動各種十法将軍法十多経過衆上小有楽小天客天空上座主義学運万だらけ三仏牛大衆が浄土不起二種検証人類不職の尿税出十万税小在衆上医薬合因年下葬儀公不問三本名小宿毒入は七時期者相戒厳が心在死に説法枠寺意思主説仏十無力内見部者意説仏難知ガチ力量性栄光小無量寿命無種故空種語聖徳尿と内者無と死将棋東壇療養人物語地不公尿以前方便維持用し口実在に軍師無の成功も外役異生部空食原者異本部天道実在に根滅異上限学校に小教師人法逸弱語欲打王悪道中画上知修上行道不行道随用書家道異世修十法毎時座前年異画領修上特入無浄土特上十部心
page number 70一生成仏書中祖南無日蓮大聖二の五名半は一生成仏書に示すの玉枠仏の名を唱え経願を読み花を散らし甲をひねるまでも皆我が一年に収めたる功徳前言なりと信心を取るべきなり。Whether you invoke the Buddha's name, recite the sutra, sprinkle flower petals, or take a pinchful of powdered incense to offer to the three treasures, all your virtuous efforts will sow merit and roots of good fortune in your life. You should live your faith based on this spirit.
남은묘 랭게교 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 kyo, Nam Myoho Renge 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 Kyo. Shikyo-nanji naku-sanji shagasoku kangi shobuzu-yaku-nen yodeshinin shobuzu-shotan-zesoku yumyo-zesoku shojin-zenmyo-jikai-kyo-su-da-sha soku-ishitoku-mujo-butsu-do no-rai-se-toku-jishikyo-se-shin-bushin Jujun-zenjin-butsu-metsu-dogo-no-ge-go-gi-se-shoten-nin Seken-shige oku-iste no shuyu-sazu isai-ten ni kai-oku-yo. It is difficult to keep this sutra. I shall be glad to see anyone keeping it even for a moment. So will all the other Buddhas. Such a person will be praised by all the Buddhas as a person of valor, one of endeavor, and one who should be considered to have already observed the precepts and practiced the dutta. Such a person will quickly attain the unsurpassed enlightenment of the Buddha. Anyone who reads and recites this sutra in the future is a true child of mine, and shall be considered to live on the stage of purity and good. After my extinction, anyone who is able to understand the meaning of this sutra will become the eyes of all the heavenly and earthly beings in this world. Anyone who expounds this sutra, even for a moment in this dreadful world, should be honored with offerings from all heavenly and earthly beings. Respectfully, I dedicate the merits that we have now all accumulated to all the venerable ones throughout the perfect circle of the great mandala Gohonzon, to the great benevolent master Shakyamuni, the eternal Buddha, to the supreme teaching, the Lotus Sūtra, to our founder, the great Bodhisattva, Nichiren Daishonin, and to the Shoten Zenjin, the protective deities of the Dharma. May the great desire of Kosen of our founder Nichiren Daishonin be realized, so that all beings under the skies and within the four seas return to the original state of Myoho Renge Kyo, and may the wonderful Dharma spread and flourish throughout the 10,000 years of Mappo. May we become aware that this world is actually the pure land of the eternal Buddha. May every living being be freed from the eternal cycle of suffering. May the tranquility of the Tathagata permeate every corner of the universe. And may all beings enjoy peace and happiness. We pray for the spirits of our ancestors, relatives, friends, and deceased acquaintances, for the people who have formed a bond with the Buddha, and for those who have not yet so done. May they all sit upon the lotus blossom and obtain the true wisdom of the Buddha. We all pray to obtain together with all of them the perfect enlightenment of the Buddha and the happiness of blessed liberation. May our homes and our families always be safe and protected from harm. May our children and descendants enjoy excellent health and a long life. May they always embrace and maintain faith in Buddhism
with a desire to achieve enlightenment, while supporting and protecting our temple and the school of Nichiren Daishonin. We sincerely vow to offer our devotion in serving the three treasures, live in accord with the wonderful Dharma, and to deepen our faith and understanding of Buddhism daily. We further pray to develop awareness, wisdom, compassion, eradicate the negative karma that we have accumulated from the infinite past, and purify our lives. We pray that this inner growth will never cease, and that our lives will grow ever closer to that of the Buddha and Nichiren Daishonin. Through our sincere faith and daily practice, we pray to experience the great and profound joy of the Buddha Dharma. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Sentient beings are innumerable. I vow to save them all. Our desires are inexhaustible. I vow to extinguish them all. The Buddha's teachings are immeasurable. I vow to study them all. The way of the Buddha is unexcelled. I vow to attain the path sublime. Shujom Hen Seigando Mon Nam Shu Seigandan Omon Mujin Seiganchi Busudo Mujo Seiganjo Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Yuigansho Shoshu Ketsu Josho Jinga Kakuto Uishoam Gobusui Aifu Konjin yori Buishin ni taru made Rokuta mochi date matsuru Namu Honmon no Honzon Namu-myoho Renge Kyo. Namu-honmon no Kaidan. Namu-myoho Renge Kyo. Namu-honmon no Daimoku. Namu-myoho Renge Kyo.
Namo Renge Kyo. Namo Renge Kyo. Namo Renge Kyo.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you for chanting the Odaimoku together with me and the Lotus Sutra. Today I would like to speak about just some basics of Buddhist faith and our spirit of how to be a Buddhist. There is one phrase inside the 15th chapter of the Lotus Sutra, emerging from the earth, when all the bodhisattvas of the earth start emerging from the earth. In this, there is this very famous phrase called Nyo Renge Zai Sui. Nyo Renge Zai Sui. And it is basically means that Nyo Renge Zai Sui. Nyo means means like or similar to. Ren is, of course, the loto, the flower, lotus flower. Ge is the blossom. Zai means to exist, or also means in. And Sui means water. So, literally, Nyo Renge Zai Sui means like a flower, a lotus blossom, in the water. Okay. So, as we know, as you all know, a lotus flower doesn't bloom in the garden like other flowers, but comes from a pond, like a pond or a lake, where there's lots of mud and silt and things like this. And from this muddy, dirty water comes a pure, very clean. Not the flower when it comes out of the water is not soiled with the mud that's in the water, but comes out very, very clean. In fact, actually, the lotus flower has a form of, a cleansing element or repellent within inside the structure of its cellular structure. So when the lotus flower comes out of the water, it comes out clean and pure. Of course, maybe at the time of the Buddha, no one knew about the cellular structure of the lotus flower, but it was always a marvelous thing to see that this beautiful, pure lotus flower could emerge from such dirty water. So the water is dirty, but the flower is beautiful and pure and clean. And that became a very strong symbol for Buddhism and a symbol of Buddhist faith and practice. So we can equate the muddy water to maybe life around us. Sometimes we're surrounded in confusion or difficulties, pressure from people, strife, stress, maybe we are worrying about something. All these different elements that sometimes the world around us, it just seems dirty or contaminated or not pure and clean. And but for us, through our Buddhist practice, we strive to be like that lotus flower, that even though we have to live in this filthy mud and dirt, that we can emerge as a beautiful, pure lotus flower. And that is the goal of our Buddhist practice. Okay, so if I was to translate, maybe this is that this to be like a flower coming out of the water, or just like the lotus flower which is in the water, is always to emerge pure and beautiful, even though life around us can be complicated and dirty or sometimes murky. Okay, so with that, I would like to, today is just a very short few things. Anyway, I would like to share this with you from chapter 15, Nyo Renge Zai Sui. Afterwards, I'll publish it in English on Facebook, so you'll have this, okay? So, Nyo Renge Zai Sui. So let's use this as a goal for us to try to practice our Buddhism with this spirit behind us. Now, based on that, I would like to read some vows that Normally we ask a novice who is learning to become a Buddhist monk to read and to study and to reflect upon as the centermost the spirit of the fundamental spirit, of their faith and Buddhist practice as a monk. But I think these vows are also great guidelines for each and every one of us. So I would like to share them with you today. Okay. So I'm going to read first in Japanese and then followed by English, because normally when we would read this, we would read them in front of the mandala Gohonzon and making this vow to Nichiren Shonin in front of the mandala Gohonzon. 私は日蓮上人の弟子として次のことをご本尊と我が心に固く誓います。As a disciple of Nichiren Daishonin, deep in my heart, I firmly vow to the Gohonzon to 一つ、法華経と日蓮上人の名教えに従い、仏祖に求事し、主張に使います。As the fundamental basis of my Buddhist faith and practice, to follow the teachings of the Lotus Sūtra and Nichiren Daishonin, serve the Buddha, the founder, my Buddhist master, and the other senior priests. 一つ、朝夕信行に励み、戒めを守り、清らかな心で生活します。As a fundamental basis of my Buddhist faith and practice, I vow to strive to my fullest to carry out my Buddhist faith and practice each and every morning and evening, follow the precepts, and live with a pure mind. 一つ、勉学に努め、物を正しく見る目を養います。As the fundamental basis of my Buddhist faith and practice, I vow to devote myself to the study of Buddhism and improve my vision of all the Buddhist teachings and of life in order to have and maintain correct views. 一つ、法友、互いに励まし合い、正しい教えを社会に広める人になります。As the fundamental basis of my Buddhist faith and practice, I vow to strive together with the other believers, together with the priesthood and with the other believers, to encourage each other to grow as persons who will spread the correct teachings throughout society. So the correct teachings means the correct teachings of the Buddha and of Nichiren Daishonin. So if we maintain our faith every day, chanting the Odaimoku, reading the Lotus Sutra, trying to study just a little bit every day, we don't have to read a whole book every day, just even a page or one concept, and reflect on that. Saying, today this is the lesson I want to study. Maybe I will study about the 3 treasures of Buddhism, for example. So today I will study this. I will study it, I will read it, I will reread it and reread it and reflect upon it. Then I will chant the Odaimoku to understand it more. So today the theme of my study will just be on study and reflection of the meaning of the 3 treasures. This could be, for example, one example. Okay. There are many other things we can study about too. For example, what does the word dharma mean? This could be another thing. So all these basic, we don't have to do a lot of very difficult things, but every day pick a topic, study it, and try to understand it. Okay? One by one. That's all you need. And then little by little you will realize you accumulate a lot of knowledge and also a lot of understanding of Buddhism. When you start to read the teachings, since you have read many of these basic elements and studied them thoroughly, then when you read the teachings of the Buddha or Nichiren Daishonin, they will make a great sense to you. Okay, and have a lot of meaning for you. Okay, so all of this personal preparation and study, everyday reflection, helps us to understand what is Buddhism. Not only through this practice, it helps to keep us focused on a clear path towards Buddhahood, right? So that we don't stray. And in that way, we maintain this goal of Nyo Renge Zai Sui. We remain just like a real lotus flower, even ourselves. Even though the water around us can be murky, we can remain pure, upright, and beautiful, based on our Buddhist faith and practice. So with that today, I would like to conclude my words for today regarding Nyo Renge Zai Sui, to live our life as if we are that lotus flower that blooms beautifully and purely clean from murky water. All right? With that, I'd like to chant the Odaimoku 3 times.
Namo Renge Kyo. Namo Renge Kyo. Namo Renge Kyo.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Friday and wonderful weekend. This weekend on Sunday morning, we will have our normal, usual Sunday morning service in Italian. So please tune in and follow together with us. All right. And every Friday morning, we'll be trying to also do a small little service in English with a few words, a sermon also in English every Friday for all of you. Okay, especially for those who do not speak Italian. Okay, thank you so much. A wonderful Friday to you, and see you on Sunday morning. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Thank you for tuning in.